Good day, everyone, and good day, sir. I am Shire Grace Pescadero, and I am the first reporter of Group 2. And today we are going to tackle about the strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino culture, a socio-cultural issue. Our learning objectives for this chapter would be, at the end of the day, you should be able to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino culture, cite ways by which school can counteract the weaknesses of the Filipino character. Let us start. Schools are there for society. Their relevance is proven by their ability to address socio-cultural problems. We have tons, but let us focus on the weaknesses of the Filipino character. The following characteristics I'm going to cite is an excerpt of the report Moral Recovery Program Building a People, Building a Nation, submitted on April 27, 1988 by the Task Force to President Corazon Aquino, the Senate, and the members of the press by then Senator Leticia Shahani, the moving spirit behind the program. Number 1. Extreme family-centeredness. Excessive concern to family members leads to factionalism, patronage, and protection of erring family members, neglecting the common good. So when we say erring, the term erring means like making mistakes. So erring family members means gina-tolerate lang or gina-enable ang sayop sa usa ka family members just because of the blood ties. For example, political dynasties and nepotism in politics. So when we say political dynasties, guys, it's kind of bitong like ang isa ka family, like the family members ning sulod sa government, like mura ginahimo ng business ang government. Very prominent na siya here sa Philippines, if you can see. Nepotism. If you aren't familiar with the word nepotism means that when the child of an influential person gets a privilege, benefits from their parents' reputation, that is what you call nepotism or nepo babies. So in politics pa, instead of doing their job and serving the people, go focus lang sila palago sa ilang family name or ilahang wealth. But like in general terms naman pod, extreme selfishness nga murag wala na sila consideration for others, gina-tolerate lang ang wrongdoing sa family even if it costs something inconvenience. Number 2, extreme personalism, like emotional involvement in objective tasks leads to favoritism, grafts, and corruption. For example, using personal contacts for hiring and services rather than merit-based systems. So kani very rampant po ni siya sa ato ang like government or any workplace where if may connection ka sa may authority or the term duol sa luwag, if mo apply ka trabaho, you can get the job easily if you're not qualified or like even if wala ka fit sa ilahang criteria, makasulod jud ka ana just because of the connections. And 3, lack of discipline. Casual attitude towards time and space results in poor time management, procrastination, and inefficient work system. For example, frequent tardiness. When we say tardiness, it means not being on time or being late. So, frequent, always nakagana late and wala mind sa time o respect sa time sa uban. Lack of adherence to schedule. When we say adherence, pag-follow or pag-stick sa schedules. So, you're costing everyone's time and ilahang efforts just because you refuse to follow the rules, follow the schedules, and shortcuts. Shortcuts means mga palusot para papadali sa imong trabaho, daghan kay excuses. Number 4, passivity and lack of initiative. Reliance on others, silag salig sa uban to do your work. Complacency, like complacent, kampantira kasi imong trabaho. Intolerance of inefficiency hinder progress. For example, wanting to be told what to do, maghuwat ra kag ingnan ka, wala kay initiative, maghuwat kag subuon pa kaani nga buhatan ni, imbes it is your job and responsibility to do just that rather than taking proactive steps. Number 5, colonial mentality. Preference for foreign goods and ideas over local ones. Lacking patriotism and national pride. Very pervasive man dyan yung colonial mentality, especially karon nga generation. But even sa una na gyud na. For example, like products, mga na sila nga mas nindot ni kay branded sa US, mas gina-value nila or mas may value sa ilaha ang mga products sa foreign countries instead are like gina-glorify nila tanang ginaobra sa gawas like mga foreign countries, mao ilang gisunod nga mga trends, even sa skin tones, like nuance kaayo pero like kanang maingon sila nga like karon nga mga products, mga whitening soaps, mga makeups, mas gina-glorify nila ang mga products gawas may value daw kaysa diri gina-undermine lang ang value sa mga products here. Number 6, the kanya-kanya syndrome or talangka mentality. Selfish ambition and lack of community spirit lead to destructive criticism and exploitation. For example, chismis, intriga, rumors, gossips, lagi chismis, unconstructive criticism among colleagues or members, mga unsolicited advices, kunuhay, criticism masked as concern. Number 7, lack of self-analysis and self-reflection. Superficial thinking, very shallow thinking, wala dyan depth, and lack of introspection. Dili man lang nimo like i-examine or i-assess imong own emotions, imong own thoughts, wala kay self-reflection. For example, settling for like an easy question rather than analyzing complex problems, which can hinder growth and progress. Do you take into account that these weaknesses are rooted in many factors, such as home, social and economic environment, culture, language, history, religion, and educational system, mass media, leadership, and many more? So the aforementioned characteristics are just few of many weaknesses of the Filipino character and culture. So to address these issues, Senator Leticia Shahani proposed the following goals as a solution for these characteristics. Patriotism and national pride, foster a sense of love and appreciation for the Philippines. Common good, prioritize collective well-being over personal interests. Integrity and accountability, emphasize transparency and responsibility. Discipline and hard work, habits of punctuality, efficiency and diligence. Self-reflection and analysis, encourage critical thinking and introspection. Spiritual values and substance over form, focus on inner growth and meaningful contributions. So in conclusion, Shahani's analysis encapsulates the need for cultural transformation to drive national progress.
Good day everyone, I am Camerly Manog, and today I will be discussing the Filipino character, strength, and weaknesses based on the 1998 report of Senator Leticia Shahani entitled A Moral Recovery Program, Building a People, Building a Nation. This report explains that the problem of the Philippines are not only in political or economic that are also rooted in the moral character of the Filipino people. It highlights the strengths of Filipino characters such as pakikipagkapwa-tao, strong family orientation, joy and humor, adaptability and creativity, hard work, faith, and the ability to survive despite hardships. The first on the list is a pakikipagkapwa-tao. Filipino treat others with respect, kindness, and a sense of shared humanity. So on this strength of Filipinos, they are more kanang acceptable sa ilaha ang basin kinsa na visitors na or not only visitors but also mga tao, like they are more friendly usually, and kanang they socialize very natural and without thinking na it's bad. And the second is family orientation. Family comes first, and Filipinos are willing to sacrifice for their loved ones. So this Filipino character or the family orientation means na every Filipino people is they come on the list that their family is the more priority, or which it makes na they would do anything for their family. And the third is a joy and humor. Filipinos remain cheerful and find humor even during difficult times. So Filipino people are humorous. They are full of jokes. They have a foundation of good vibes always, despite of many distractions or calamities they are went through in their lives. Filipinos, or you always see Filipinos smiling whenever you see them, even if they are struggling. And the fourth is the flexibility, adaptability, and creativity. Filipinos easily adjust to change and find creative solutions to problems. So, some Filipino characters have this, which means that they are creative in different ways. Example, ang mga tao, kay they are creative in arts, in inventions. There are many Filipinos na they are really adjustable or dali sila maka-adjust sa ilahang specific field na gikabutangan sa ilahang ilang path na ginatakled. And the fifth is the hard work and industry. Filipinos are diligent, patient, and committed to their work. So Filipino characters such as this one is shows na ang Filipino is mustache siya in that specific field if they really love that field, or they may have or they find comfort on that specific field. They will stay loyal on that kind of path or situation. And the sixth is faith and religiosity. Filipinos draw strength and guidance from their strong belief in God. So Filipino people are really religious, or they have spiritual kanang tawag ani. They engage on spiritual doings, since Philippines is like the more kanang religious country in the Southeast Asia, or tawagan ni kanang they more prioritize God above all. And the seven is the ability to survive. Filipinos are resilient and can endure and recover from hardships. So Filipino people are really literally kanang dali sila makakuha og idea to survive on that specific situation where they are being down. For examples are this kanang natural disasters. Some are waiting but some we can't deny na there are some people na maghulat pa sila, they won't find any ways to be able to recover on that specific event. While Filipinos they don't wait for any help, but they do any possible ways that they can survive in each struggles that they've been through. So Filipino characters has also its weaknesses. The first is extreme family-centeredness. Loyalty to family becomes excessive, leading to favoritism and fair decisions. So Filipinos mostly in the families is kanang they have their own favoritism when it comes to the siblings. Mas na sila preferan nga kanang ilahang anak na mas kanang ginahatagan nila privilege compared sa other nilang anak pa. So, the second is extreme personalism, judging people based on personal relationships instead of roles or merits. So, naay kanang mga Filipinos are also known nga kanang mas ginajudge nila ang usa ka tawo based sa personal relationship or kanang na sila'y maingon bitaw sa tawo nga kanang mao ni ginagossip nila always instead nga tan-aw nila ang merit or unsay kanang maayo ana nga tawo instead nga ang maayo ang lantawon katunan ng personal relationship nga ilahang nakit-an ana nga tawo. The third is lack of discipline. Discipline. Difficulty following rules, managing time, and sustaining responsibility. So, mostly Filipinos also is wala kay nila gina-engage ang discipline, especially in kanang a simple traffic rules, ang pag-segregate sa mga basura, or even kanang mga simple kanang commands dili kay nila gina-respeto kay feeling nila they are kanang above ana nga kwan or kaya nila na nga wala kay na consequences when it comes nga if ever makommit nila nga na actions. And the fourth is readiness syndrome or talangka mentality, settling for mediocrity and pulling others down instead of helping them succeed. So most Filipinos are kanang they don't make or they don't help nga kanang i-compliment nila ang usa ka tawo because they succeeded. They come into a different kanang thinking nga nakaano raman na like something kanang gina-down nila instead of congratulating of what people kanang what kanang people success bitaw kanang mas gina-judge nila paano nila na nga success instead of kung nga kanang na-congratulate nila. This also called jealousy na kanang hadlok sila kanang mga loved ones sila sa ilahang social status nga naano na siya from that kanang mentality is di na nagkuha ng Filipinos na they are also readiness syndrome. And the fifth on the list is the colonial mentality, valuing foreign ideas, products, or people more than the local ones. So mostly Filipinos is kanang nag-adapt siya sa mga western cultures. Kanang dali kay sila influence sa kanang mga trends based ilang mga na nakita sa social media nga kanang this type of clothes is kanang uso siya, attractable siya. Gina-adapt na din sa mga Filipino. And also kung unsay kanang feeling nila kanang famous gina-adapt nila just for them to show nga ning-adapt sila or kanang nakisabi sila sa uso na they are not late on kanang not late sila sa trend. And also when it comes to products kanang feeling nila when other countries kanang nga products kay feeling nila kanang high standard or their kanang pangtanan nila silang self is dato sila ana nga kung tungod kay gikan sa laing lugar, not because gikan diri sa Philippines, they come na kanang it sounds like they are not engaging through local ones. They are more engaging sa mga western or foreign products like somehow. Then the sixth is the kanya-kanya mentality or focusing only on personal interest rather than a common good. So this kind of mentality also is kanang ga-focus siya sa imuhara yung self. They don't care for kanang maka-benefits ang others kundi yourself is the one to be benefited. Then also is in the 7 is the lack of self-analysis and self-reflection, avoiding criticism and failing to recognize the personal faults. So some Filipinos also kanang they don't accept their mistakes. They mostly they feel na they're always in the right kanang decision. Dili sila i-accept lang kag na kanang ako ning sala I didn't mean. They're not sorry for what I do. Kundi gina-insist nila na ilang kaugalingon is sila'y tama or sila'y sakto ug dili sila mo take o criticism nga makaingon sila silang self nga dili ko kanang Dili ko sayop sa usa sa akong gisulti kun dili sakto tanan. Then the eighth is the passivity and lack of initiative. So waiting for others to act instead of taking responsibility. So mostly Filipinos is wala jud sila ga take responsibility. Kanang gusto pa sila nga kanang i-please sila nga kanang pwede pa ko, or they are meant to be asked, not kanang kung wala sila gina-ask na kanang pwede ba kani dili po na sa mo take initiative sa ilaha nga kuan ana nga situation, wala sila imoon nga action kung wala sila gikinahanglan. So the nine and the last one is emphasis on forma over substance, prioritizing appearance or images rather than real quality or results. So in this Filipino character kuan is wala jud siya nagtan-aw sa kanang quality sa usa ka product, kundi kung unsay nakita sa ilang nga mata, mao lang ang ginlang ginatan-aw. They don't go for quality but they go for physical art, for sa kanang they do kanang the appearance siya sa usa ka bata-on, wa sila gabi sa ilang nga quality, whether it's product or other services. There is such good in Filipino, but so much needs to be changed too. Many of our strengths as a people are also sources of our weaknesses. Shahani's report in 1988 explains that family orientation becomes in-group orientation that prevents us from reaching out beyond the family of the larger community and the nation in our personalism. We are warm and caring, but this leads us to lack of objectivity. We are considered with people we know, but unfair to people we don't know. In our flexibility, we compromise precision and discipline. We are a joyful people with a sense of humor, but we can take the things with humor all the time. For serious problems need serious analysis. Our faith in God is our source of strength, but this makes us dependent on forces outside us. Do nothing that makes us submissive in God's will. We are good in pakikipagkapwa-tao, and so we can easily emphasize what we can. At the same time, we envious of others. We can be hardworking and yet we can be lazy and passive in the workplace.
So good morning everyone, my name is Rhea Vejidor and I am the next reporter. So we have the value education in school. So Senator Shahani's report was given in 1988, but its finding as reported may still be true today. The Department of Education has as its vision to help develop Filipinos who passionately love their countries and whose value and competencies inhabit them to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to building the nations. So it has at its core values like makadiyos, makatao, and makakalikasan. So this means is Senator Shahani is, imagine we want to raise a Filipino who are proud of their country and help it make it better. So Senator Shahani's old reports still matters because it talks about what makes us good and what we need to work on. So schools try to teach values like you need to be kind towards your family and neighbor. Also, you need to take care of our mother nature, and also you need to love our country. But we also have habits that we hold us back. These are like we may treat people we know rather than strangers. So the second is sometimes we're not very organized or proactive. So the next is we may take only about ourselves instead of others. Next is we might copy other countries too much instead of valuing our own. So this kinds of kuan is dapat ato sa ni siyang gina-change natin ni siya para mas mo taas pa ang atong kuan as a Filipino here sa countries. So next, so that it will not be more form than substance. As described report, values education now, edukasyon sa pagpapakatao in K-12 curriculum was introduced as a separate subject in the basic education curriculum under the values education framework program of Dr. Lourdes Quesumbing, then Department of Education, Culture, and Sports Secretary in 1988 to 1990. The values education framework was conceptualized in 1987. In 2002, the basic education curriculum, which is the grade 1 and grade 6, and first to fourth year high school, integrated values in the major learning areas or subjects. Beginning with the K-12 curriculum in 2013, values education was renamed Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao, which is ESP, for grade 1 to grade 10. In the senior high curriculum, grade 11 to grade 12, there is no course with the title Values Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao. But core course such as Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person and the Personal Development are in the essence values education subject themselves. So this means is before wala ni nila ginafokusan nga subject, which is kanang ginatudlo nila sa eskwelahan nga mga good manners towards sa iyahang teacher or classmate. So karon na sila'y ginatawag na ESP, which is the edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. Moni ang ginatudlo sa grade 1 to grade 10. Well, ang senior high na sila'y subject nga related ra pud siya sa ESP, which is the philosophy personal development, and ang ga-create ani is si Dr. Lourdes Quesumbing para daghag ma-learn ang mga student.
So good day everyone, I am Zaya Miss Elsie Kanghagas and I will be the last reporting of this topic. So, let's apply. Number 1, the teacher observed that when students submit report, the more ornate or artistress to the folder is, the less substantial the report, which weakness in the Filipino character is pointed to. If you were the teacher, how would you interact such? So it means when the student focus more on making their folders beautiful than on the quality of the report. It shows that Filipino weakness of pakitang tao, or which says valuing appearance one's substances. So if I would be a teacher, I will correct this by teaching students that content and ideas are more important than decoration. And I will grade more on understanding, not design. So, pananglitan. Naay estudyanteng colorful kaayo ang iyahang gibuhat sa folder. Dahang mga letters or design. Pero, gamay ra og sayo pa ang sulod sa report. It means na mas giuna ang kanang iyang pag-design kaysa tinuod kaysa sa sulod. Isip sa maisto, tudluan nako siya sa importante sa sulod kaysa sa mga design. So let's proceed to the next. In line with government austerity program, DepEd reiterates the following policies. A graduation's right should be simple but meaningful to encourage civil rights and sense of community and personal responsibility, while these rights work milestone in the life of learners. This should be conducted within exist. Which of the weaknesses of the Filipino does this DepEd order when to help eliminate them? So this aims to remove the Filipino weaknesses of luho or extravagance and or pagpasikat. So during ceremonies, is teaching student discipline, simplicity, and responsibility. and it helped families avoid necessary expenses. So pananglitan, bongga kayo ang kanang event or mahal ang toga, like na simple na ang programa sa eskwelahan. So it means dapat likayan ang luho or pagpasikat din tudluan o kanang ang mga estudyante nga ang kasimple or ang pagdisiplina. So the next is in post-observation conference, school head acts points for improvement for the teacher observed. It happens that there are more points of improvement than positive points. Teacher conclude the school head is bliss against. So the Filipino weaknesses shown a fault finding or criticism. Teacher balance criticism with encouragement, give construction feedback, not only focus on mistake. Human sa observation, ang principal misulti sa sayop sa maestro. Ug wala niya kay kanang gidayeg or unsa na nga term na or ang maayong himo. So it means hilig sa pagpuna kaysa pag-appreciate. So angay dapat balanse siya, no? So what should be done in the Philippines basic education system so that it is more substances than form? Education should not only give information but also from a character, values, discipline, and critical thinking, not just memorization. Pananglitan, di lang sa pagpasagdis sa libro or exam, kundi sa pagtudlo usab sa respeto, disiplina o mga responsibilities sa klase. Di kay imuhang imong pagklase more focus lang giga sa mga lesson, which is dapat po as a teacher dapat mo-focus po ta kung how to respect ang pagdisiplina sa usa ka estudyante. So let's proceed to the number 5. Cite instance where extreme family-centered, lack of discipline, passivity of lack of imitative and colonial mentality, and the last is kanya-kanyang syndrome talangka mentality, and number 6, lack of analysis and self-reflection and manifest in the philosophy society. Explain how schools can help counteract such negative traits. So, extreme family-centered is teaches independence. Then, the lack of discipline enforce rules family. The colonial mentality promote Filipino pride. Then, kanya-kanyang syndrome is encourage teamwork. The last is lack of self-reflection. Train students to evaluate themselves. So, schools can help integrating value education, leadership, training, and critical thinking activities. Desisyon ang bata kung walay ginikanan. Dili kabalo mabuhat ang bata, no? So, kulang nga disiplina. Pananglitan, estudyante siya nga pirmi, malit. Dapat disiplinaon na siya. Then colonial mentality, just mas ganahan o foreign kaysa local nga produkto, no? Like inanam kita mga Filipino, which is biskan dapat maging proud ta sa ato dili ta ganang like sa pagkaon, no? Murag mas gusto kita sa mga Korean foods, kimchi, like nana. So naman puti ang atua. So dapat kabaluta mo, dapat proud ta kung unsa ang ato produkto. So kanya-kanya, so pananglitan sa group work dili mo tabang ang uban, so dapat disiplinaon gina siya. dayon kakulang or lack of self-reflection. Parang dili mudawat og sayop. So dapat inana nga tawo ato na siyang hanang disiplinahon step by step gina siya. So kay ang eskwelahan dili lang siya sa pagtudlo kundi sa makatabang sa pinagi sa values, education, kabalo. Dapat mao man na ang ikaduha nga home sa mga estudyante. Dapat dili sila makabalo sila mo disiplina. So the last for our topic is based on Senator Shahani's report, Chapter 5, as written by Patricia Lishuanan, once chair of the Commission of Higher Education of the Philippines. Schools have contributed as a development of Filipino positivity and lack of critical thinking. Aside from the influence of the formal curriculum, there are influence of the hidden curriculum. Yes, the values taught formally by Filipino school are highly authoritarian without teacher as a central focus. The Filipino student taught to be dependent on the teacher, so he attempt to record verbatim what the teacher says and give this back in its original from the letter processing during examination. Teacher remained well-behaved and obedient student, and the uncomfortable with this who ask question, express different viewpoints, and critical thinking is not learned in school. Student learn to just memorize and obey, not think critically. Teacher reward obedience more than a questioning. So student become passive. To fix this, teacher should encourage open discussions, questions, and independent thinking. Panalitan. So estudyante kabalo ra siya memorize sa gisulti sa maestro. Apan mahadlok siya mangutana na siya pangutana. So it means nga gianad sila sa pagsunod dili sa critical nga paghunahuna. So dapat kanang dasigon siya maestro sa discussion o pangutana. So di ba as if teacher ka, dapat para makasabot ang imong estudyante, dapat kabalog ka mo pasunod sa imong klase, which is discuss ka pagpasabot, then mo ask kag questions or butang nga wa ba sila kasabot. So that's all